I have spent about 3 hours with the playtest version of Starsand Island thanks to the wonderful group Minimap that I write for. Going in, I was pretty worried. I've seen a bunch of people talking about a bunch of bugs they were having, and no, not the kind you can catch with a net. So let's just jump right into my roughly 3-hour experience and some information that I found out afterwards. Opening the game, I was greeted by a pretty decent customization panel. I liked all of the options and was surprised to see it was so fast for an early access version of a game. I was able to make a pretty cute character from the start, which is not always the case in games with customization that can be unlocked later on. Starting out was pretty slow, as I assumed it would be, as it is pretty standard with any type of game. I was a bit surprised you're not locked out of anything, and the pacing is pretty good. I was never really left bored or wandering around looking for something to do. The game was smart and did not leave me alone with my own thoughts. There are multiple paths to go down for skills: crafting, ranching, fishing, and all the typical skills you can expect from a farming gamer here. The game kind of pushes you to begin a path of one skill, get familiar with the bare basics of that skill, and then give you the option to start another skill path simultaneously. There is no time limit that I saw for having to start or continue a skill path. There were a few things that I saw that were time-bound, but nothing too terrible, and of course this isn't some type of gacha game, so there's no stamina. So overall, pretty relaxing, and you can take this very much at your own pace, which I enjoyed. One of the few things that are time-gated are the quest board missions. They will have a countdown and will disappear once it reaches 0. I never missed one of these deadlines, so I'm not quite sure if there's any type of punishment or if you just miss out on the possible rewards. The rewards do seem good. I got coins, blueprints, and some materials depending on the request. And the requests aren't terribly hard, at least they were not in the beginning phases of the game. Another thing that is connected to time is your crops and your animals. Crops will have a countdown as soon as they are planted to show how long till they can be harvested. There are multiple types of fertilizers that can affect the crop's growth, so those are highly recommended to check out, especially when you get your bearings and get a bit further into the game. Animals need to be fed, and will give materials like wool and eggs. These are also connected to your in-game time. The feeding of the animals appears to be the only thing that you really have to remember, but you can prepare up to 20 bags of food for the animal to eat throughout the day, so it's not like you have to rush back during lunch because your chickens are hungry. I do love that all the skill paths are open and freely available. I've tried games to where you are locked to 1 or 2 paths only, and that cuts so much possible gameplay. It gives a sense of freedom. Adding on top of that, the time in the day runs you about 15 to 20 minute real-world minutes. It gives you plenty of time to explore, complete some quests, and tend to your farm. There isn't a rushing feeling, even though you will pass out if you stay out too late, but it's also not too long to where you yearn for the next day to start so you can tend to your crops or get a new mission. But if you do end up wanting to skip ahead a little bit, you can just go to bed and wake up the next morning. When you are ready to customize your home and your farm, you can bring up an inventory and quickly place down the items. The customization is pretty great. The grid lets you do almost minute adjustments, which I love. I can't stand grids like Animal Crossing to where you just can't get stuff to line up to save your life. There do seem to be a good amount of craftable items to fit in all sorts of themes. The houses that were shown in the game give everything from old cottage to modern streamer home, so whatever your desire, you can probably make it. One of the most useful craftables isn't a decoration, but a mount. The first one you can get is a skateboard, and it feels pretty good. I wish it had a bit more speed, but it's faster than running and it's free, so I guess it's fine. You can pay coins to rent a mount around the city if you want to ride in style. Scooters or all kinds of things are up for grabs, or you can choose to ride an ostrich into the forest if you stop by the farm area on your way out. They are paid by in-game hours though, so keep an eye on your time because those can run up a pretty good bill. Overall, I enjoyed my 3 hours with the game. There were storylines happening with each skill path leader, and you even got a cool little cutscene with each new friend. The best part for me was the cute animals and the good pacing. This is not a game that I would go to every day, but it does seem like a fun game to spend a week or two with. Now, a key point of my positive thoughts on the game was that I have free access through the playtesting of the game. I didn't know how much the game would be upon release, but knowing that it would release into early access, I expected maybe around $10, $15, and I was pretty shocked to see that the price was actually going to be $39.99 USD for the standard version of the game. That seems like so much money for a small farming game. Granted, it is nice, but it's early access. This is a time where you offer the game for less than you would the full release title. The players give feedback to help you make the game better, and I just think that this is crazy and a bit unreasonable of a price to set, especially when there still seems to be major bugs back when I played it. I think they should lower the price a bit, and if the time for 1.0 comes and the game is massive and worthy of that near $40 price tag, then adjust it. And on top of that, I fully believe no early access game should have DLC. That should be included in the game or wait until the full release. It seems like a blatant money grab, and it just feels gross to me. Starsand Island's DLC is probably one of the worst cases of passing off BS items for too much money. For a whole $20, the full price of Hollow Knight's Silksong, you can be the unproud owner of a dress and shoes, some furniture, and apparently janky, according to people online, carriage to ride in. This is beyond disgusting to me, and I don't know how anyone could rationally buy this. And apparently neither could they, because the DLC sits at a mostly negative review score on Steam. One topic that I saw online was the controversy about possible positive review botting. This was so severe that it was actually addressed by the company at the time, claiming that they had no connection with the seemingly AI-generated reviews. Even though the company claimed to not be a part of the issue, many fans were simply not buying it. And the last thing that had fans rioting against the game is the issues connecting to Kickstarter. Backers of the game were promised a digital version of the game and should have received them upon early access release. So I'm a bit late recording this because at the time of writing the script, it was the 19th of February. And at the time, all of the people that had backed it should have gotten the game code. Many were commenting on that day on Kickstarter that they still had not received their keys. Many were expressing regrets of even supporting the game in the first place. After taking a step back to see what a normal experience would be, having to buy the game and issues widely reported, I can say, I would not spend money to buy this game. Even though I enjoyed my time in the playtest, I can't give $40 to an early access game from a company with no reputation. As it sits currently, this is an unfinished game and should be priced as such. The fact that the backers are getting ignored only adds to my distrust that this game is worth the money and will have the proper effort put in, and after the full launch of the game, what are they going to do with it? If you have the game and are happy with your purchase, I'm very glad. But I just don't think I will ever be recommending this game to anyone unless the company does a big 180 in how they're handling things. I wish that this review was a bit nicer, but I also wish that the team was nicer in handling the situations that they put themselves in. So this is my early access review of Starsand Island, the playtest version, roughly 3 hours in. If you've gotten a hold of the game in any way, shape, or form, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. Let me know if there's some updates that I have missed recently, and I hope that they turn it around because the game has potential. And of course, like any other video, if there's a game that you want me to look at, whether it be a demo or early access version, let me know and I will try and get to it to see what it is all about. And with that, I'm going to leave you with the rest of the day. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up to let me know I did a good job. And if you want to go the extra mile, look around the channel. And if you like what you see, give me a subscribe so you don't lose me in the sea of YouTube content. And I hope to see you in a future video. Bye guys!